I love you, Emily. I promise to always put you first. I promise to listen to you, to respect you, care for you, and to love you forever and ever.
My dear sweet John, today I choose you. I promise to support your dreams and to respect our differences. I promise to love you and be by your side through all of our days and nights. I love you to the moon and back, forever and always.
Days run, nights fall away. Street lights guide me, they show me the way. Oh, 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 take my hand, I'll lead you home. Escape our fate and walk alone. Turn down the lights tonight, moon's our guide. We dance, we sing, we live, we love tonight. Let's run from the dawn before it knows we're gone. We dance, we sing, we live, we love tonight. Of black and white, let's come in these lines. Oh, 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 a heart run wild, knows no end. A love untied will rise again. Turn down the lights tonight, moon's out.
Welcome, family and friends. For those of you that don't know me, my name is John DeSalvatore. I am a close personal friend of the bride and groom and have the distinct pleasure of officiating today's ceremony. That and John's my boss and he basically made me do it. But today we are here to celebrate the love between Emily and John. In a year that has produced a tremendous amount of uncertainty and chaos, there's going to be no social distancing guidelines that were going to prevent this union from taking place. So on behalf of Emily and John, I would like to thank everyone for joining us for this wonderful marriage ceremony. Emily, you look beautiful as always. John, pretty average. Please be seated. Whenever we attend a wedding, we are given the opportunity to reflect on our own relationships. We might look at the couple before us and be tempted to compare their love to the quality of our own relationships. The truth is, that every relationship is as unique as the individuals in it. But one thing holds true. For love to exist between two people, each person must allow the vulnerability of giving his or her love to the other, and each must be open to receiving the other's love in turn. Therefore, each of us is a powerful creator of love. Each of us, every moment, every day, has a choice to dedicate ourselves to one another or to withhold our love and caring. Marriage is an act of will. It requires a commitment to care for and take responsibility for another person. The act of marrying is not something that is done at once in the beginning of married life, but is something that is done every single day with declarations of love that come in various forms. Some subtle, some public, many private, but all of them sincere. There's no guarantee that the act of marriage in and of itself produces a greater love for one another. We don't say our I do's that are magically empowered with a greater capacity to love. It's not that you won't love one another more after these few moments. You most certainly will. It's just that the reason is not found in what we do here today. Rather, the reason is to be found in the act of love itself. There's no perfect formula for a successful marriage. In my humble opinion, after 14 years of marriage, how we survive those moments that challenge our very ability and capacity to love will be the key to a successful marriage. I can tell you that Emily and John stand before you, like many of us, with a battle-tested relationship that has been put through its own set of unique circumstances. But the power of their love for one another has prevailed over all. It brings us to today, wedding day. Weddings are the moments when we come together to recognize the goodness of the gift of love in general, and the goodness of this particular expression of love in the lives of Emily and John. We are here today to officially name what has been unofficially experienced and enjoyed ever since Emily and John have been brought together. Essentially, what you two are doing today is to celebrate what is already happening in your lives, and most importantly, promise to not get in its way. The reason you invited the rest of us along is so that we can celebrate the goodness of your love with you, and so we can add our vow to help the two of you remain open to and appreciative of this wonderful reality of love which has become the center of your lives. Having considered all these things, John, do you promise to do your very best each day to create a loving, healthy, and happy marriage?
I do.
Emily, do you promise to do your very best each day to create a loving, healthy, and happy marriage?
I do.
At this point, I'd like to ask Coach Gary Hebert, who's going to perform, a song that was specially written for Emily and John today.
Love, like the endless sky that covers over me, standing up so high, beyond where I can see. You are faithful, ever kind and true. There is no other love like you. No other like you. Peace, like a gentle stream, flows through every heart. It washes over me, calms my anxious heart. You are faithful, ever kind and true. There is no other love like you. No other like you. You're the sun that lights my darkest day. And you're the shelter in the pouring rain. And when I wander, you show the way back into my heart again. I will look to you for hope like a burning flame, glowing deep within when nothing stays the same. On you I can depend, you are faithful, ever kind and true. There is no other love like you, no other like you. You're the sun that lights my darkest day, and you're my shelter in the pouring rain. And when I wander, you show the way back into my arms again. I will look to you, oh Emily. You're so very beautiful from the inside out. Radiant bright today, one in a million. The apple of John's eye, ultra organized, the great brother. That's all jump on you, you love red wine. John, a legacy of leadership. John Shear's looking down on you. He loves you. He loves you, John, and he's happy. He's so grateful. He's so grateful for the blessing of God's mercy and God's grace. You're so grateful. You're a blessing, both of you. You're a big blessing. Your kindness, compassion, the two are one right now. And we love you, John, we love you and your beautiful bride. God's blessings, we love you and we pray for you forever. Your forever love, forever love, forever. Oh, we love you guys.
Coach, awesome. I was getting worried that you weren't going to bring the thunder at the end of that song. I'm glad you did. So we all have our love story. Emily and John's love story began at a time when both were looking to take a break from the dating world, having been frustrated and exhausted with their previous experiences. Then comes along this hairy goalie and cornered John in the shower one fateful Valentine's Day night. Cupid sure does come in many forms. Although Brady's instincts may have been subpar on the ice that night, they were spot on when the thought of introducing John and Emily entered his mind. John was reluctant. Emily had had enough of Brady's attempts. But with a couple pictures exchanged, background checks, internet stalking, the attraction was there and contact was made. Sweet and innocent exchanges as a way to get to know each other soon led to texting RQDs, random questions of the day. Then extended phone conversations, and finally, an agreement to meet up for their first date. First date is everything you would expect it to be. The event was the Islanders versus the Leafs. Of course, it's got to be a hockey game. This would feature an electric crowd of 500 people socially distanced from each other in the Barclays Center. This is pre-COVID, mind you. The date was March 30th, my birthday, I might add. John was terribly late. He had already sweat through his third shirt of the day, which is nothing new for anyone here that knows him. He stormed into the bar extremely out of breath in a desperate attempt just to earn back one more minute. I mean, if the guy would show this kind of energy on the softball field on Monday nights, he'd be able to beat out some of those lazy ground balls to short that we keep saying. Emily was on time, sat waiting patiently. John was impressed not only by her beauty, but her ability to roll with the fact that he had made her wait for so long. The connection was immediate. Conversation was effortless. Emily immediately started to experience her emotions getting better in person. And by the end of the successful first date, they couldn't wait to see each other again. 6 months later, a couple of trips around the world, the introduction to friends and family, they were ready to take the next big step to move in together. Brewster and Baxter received in their new roommate as Emily left behind NYC and moved to West Hartford. Then real life began. Habits were realized, formed, and broken. Compromise started to take place. Resistance had its say. And like any of us, the challenge to accept each other's quirks and differences became the ultimate test of the durability of their love. Emily soon realized that she could be more vulnerable. She found strength in the fact that she could let her hair down and not have the need to be on all the time. John found peace in the moment. As someone who offers his time to so many, Emily was able to not only teach him how to take a breath, but to actually smell the fresh air. So with that being said, I should both take a deep breath. Emily and John have chosen to prepare their own vows, at which this point they'll read to each other. John, you have the honor, my friend.
I love you, Emily. I promise to always put you first. I promise to describe in detail all of my men's league hockey goals, even when you don't ask. I promise to buy you flowers an above average amount of times. I promise to listen to you, to honor you, to respect you, to challenge you, to nurture you, provide for you, push you, care for you, be faithful to you, and to love you forever and ever. Most of all, I promise to never give up on you or on us. I take you now, not only as my best friend, but more importantly, as my wife. I am yours, and you are mine, from this day until the end of our days.
My dear sweet John, today I choose you. I offer myself to you as I am. All my flaws, and there are some, and all of my strengths. I feel safe knowing that between us we have trust, honesty, and understanding. I know that we will raise each other up when weary, join hands in times of darkness. I promise to persevere through any hardship. I promise to support your dreams and to respect our differences. I will listen with compassion and understanding. I will encourage you always. Above all else, I promise to love you and be by your side through all of our days and nights. So today, before God and all of these witnesses, I am so proud to join my life with yours and to become a wife. Your wife. I love you to the moon and back, forever and always.
The groom at Sommers to bring forth the rings. John, as you place this ring on Emily's fingers, please repeat after me. I give you this ring.
I give you this ring
As a reminder
as a reminder
that I will love, honor, and cherish you
that I will love, honor, and cherish you
in all times,
in all times,
in all places,
in all places,
and in all ways forever.
and in all ways forever.
Emily, as you place this ring on John's finger, please repeat after me. I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a reminder
as a reminder
that I will love, honor, and cherish you
that I will love, honor, and cherish you
in all times,
in all times,
in all places,
places,
and in all ways.
and in all ways.
I want to thank you both for giving me the honor of officiating this ceremony here today. A few weeks ago, I had you both answer a few questions for me, highlighting your love story as well as how you impacted each other in various ways. One moment that stood out to me was the decision for you both to commit to the Chicago Marathon. Nothing highlights what a marriage is quite like a marathon. Emily, in the spring of 2018, you challenged John to run his first marathon. John laughed at the idea, claiming anyone can do it, and bet that you would leave her in the dust when the time came. You both enjoyed many days running together as that became your routine. But there were also the days when you woke up and had no interest in putting on your shoes. Too tired, too sore, too drunk, still drunk, too hot, too cold, raining, etc. Well, welcome to marriage. There are many days that will bring about challenges that will interrupt your comfortable routine. You'll not always love each other in the same way every day. There will be days in your marriage where it just seems easier to roll over and hit the snooze button. So I want you to think back on that actual race day. Even though John didn't have the ability to keep up with Emily, was left in the dust at mile 20, but she encouraged her to keep moving. I encourage you both to remember that moment when you were searching for one another in that massive crowd with no cell phones to communicate, when you locked eyes and you embraced each other, the emotion that took over, the overwhelming sense of accomplishment. Because you didn't roll over on those hard days, you didn't stop moving at mile 20, you found ways to support each other through the tough times, and that gave you the strength to cross that finish line. And though you're at a new starting line today, just remember to put that same energy and commitment into your marriage. And also, you're starting this together, and you'll finish it together. With that, I'd like to offer, God, we praise you for your love and faithfulness. We thank you for your grace. We thank you that you give us the power to love well. Thank you for our spouse. Thank you for the gift of marriage. Thank you that you're for us, that you fight for us. Thank you that you are a redeemer and you have good in store. We confess some days marriage gets tough and we blow it again and again. We ask that you would make us more like you and fill our marriage and lives with truth and cover it with blessings. Amen. And with that said, by the authority vested in me by the state of Rhode Island and the Universal Life Church, I now pronounce you both husband and wife. You may kiss your bride. It is my distinct honor and privilege to present to you for the first time Mr. and Mrs. John Sommers, Jr.
And it's you and me that make the symphony, and the space between is the harmony. Oh, if you and I could take the melody on a day like this, yeah. The sun shone through the clear and suddenly heard life in the space around me, our own song.
John and Emily Sommers!
And disguised in the light, it seemed that a jewel unveiled in front of me, our own song.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you could pay your attention to the dance floor, Emily and John have a few words to say.
Okay, welcome everybody. As you all know, you can't go through an event that Emily and I host without having to hear me speak a little bit. So, sorry in advance for that. But Emily's made me promise to keep it short today. I just wanted to, alongside my beautiful wife. My wife, Emily, and I wanted to, from the bottom of our hearts, extend a warm welcome and, more importantly, a thank you to each and every one of you. It was very important to us to have each and every one of you here with us today. Obviously, in the midst of everything that we've all been dealing with this year, we felt it was really important to not put our lives on hold. And we thought not only the two of us, but everyone here, we all really needed something to pull together and to celebrate and be happy about. So we're just over the moon. Could not be happier to have each and every one of you here with us. And there's a special story behind each and every relationship. And it was a super daunting challenge when we were told that we were going to have to downsize our wedding by almost 70%. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason. My mom's always told me that. And although sometimes I may not want to hear it when she says it, she was absolutely right at this time and every other time. And it was a really good exercise for us to have to think about, who, because it takes a village, a marriage, like our wonderful officiant, John DeSalvatore, said earlier. Thank you, John. And we couldn't have made it this far without each and every one of you. And we're going to continue to need you guys and love you back just as much as you love us, if not more, every day as we move forward as a married couple. So it was a tremendous exercise to have to think about who matters most. And you guys are all so near and dear to us. You're in our hearts, and our hearts are just absolutely full and soaring today. Thank you for making today super special. We love each and every one of you. My final request is on his deathbed, my dad, he asked that I make sure that his grandkids know him. My beautiful bride did not have the chance to meet Dad, but so many of you here with us tonight did. I do feel that Emily knows Dad through me and through the family and through our friends, and we ask that you guys make sure that you help us to help our kids get to know John Sr. So thank you in advance for that, and we love you all. Have fun.
Growing up together, there were several years that separated Emily and I in age, which allowed me to watch her to grow from an adorable little girl through being an awkward trucker hat wearing teen to an intelligent, driven, and graceful woman. In our adulthood, we've grown as close as sisters. There are so many things I admire about you, Emily. Your sarcastic humor, your chic and sophisticated beauty, to name just a few. All right, so now that I'm crying, we're going to transition to a little humor. I wanted to take a moment to share the beginning of Emily and John's love story, the part where they hadn't even met yet. So as many of you know, Valentine's is a day where couples are supposed to show each other how big their love is with gifts or special dates. That is, unless if Valentine's Day falls on your men's league hockey game. So my super romantic husband performed his goal-stopping duties Valentine's Day 2018 when the now infamous shower encounter took place. And that's where my husband began his very successful career as a matchmaker. Not knowing much about John besides that he plays hockey and everyone says he's, quote, the nicest guy in the world, Brady came to me with the idea of setting him up with Emily. Brady and I followed the beginning of Emily and John's relationship very closely, asking highly inappropriate questions, requesting text updates before, during, and after dates, and offering our expert advice. I personally may or may not have videotaped you, John, playing hockey and sent it to Emily, checked out the cleanliness of your car in the rink parking lot, as well as asked my husband questions only a hockey teammate would know, like the sizes of your skates. The first time I officially met John was after dinner with our children in West Hartford. It was clear to me then how very special he is. There aren't many people who can insult your choice of restaurant while simultaneously making you think he's genuinely a really, really good guy. From the moment you gave me a hug that felt like you'd known me for years, to indulging one of my children in a piggyback ride up to your apartment, I knew he was the kind of man you marry. Emily, when Brady offered to set you up with John, I remember you asking me, do you think it's worth it, Katie, to even try this? And even though I didn't know John at all, I said yes, because I believe in love. And then I looked to the love of my life beside me in bed, and I said, God, Brady, if this guy screws this up, I'm gonna kill him and you. So now I propose a toast to both of you. Grab my thing here. For a lifetime of always believing in your love. Cheers.
First, I want to speak on some new information that I just heard. The fact that Emily actually stuck around with John after she saw a hockey tape of him is a minor miracle. So, shows to the person that she is. She doesn't care about skills, more personality, but good for you. A couple thank yous are in order. First and foremost, John and Emily for putting on this unbelievable wedding. Obviously, with the COVID times, they had to trim this list down, so I think we're all just happy we made the cut. But this wedding was handled with precision and class from day one, starting with the invitations, to the reminders, to the COVID reminders, to the emails. They basically made this wedding Frank-proof so that you just basically had to show up and breathe and you'd be successful. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Secondly, I'd like to thank the parents of the bride and groom for raising such wonderful people. Obviously, I'm sure Emily was a princess from day one, but Johnny probably took a lot more hard work and molding to get where he is now, so huge kudos to you guys on that. Lastly, I'd really like to have a big shout out to Johnny's suit guy, Chris Kuzo. The fact that Johnny doesn't have 2 swimming pools under his arms right now is nothing short of a miracle. Johnny sweats like a Russian athlete that's about to give a blood test when he puts on his socks every morning, so I was half expecting to see him up on the altar with like 2 beach towels and a headlock, just so Emily didn't get swept away by sweat. But so Chris Kuzo, unbelievable stuff. I don't know if this is like scuba gear or whatever, but it worked. Thank you. As most of you know, I met Johnny as a transfer our sophomore year at Stonehill College. We were attempting to pursue our pathetic hockey careers after getting shunned away from our prior schools. Little did we know we would become Division II, like champs of the galaxy. And not a big deal or anything, but it was a big deal. But I still remember the first time I met Johnny. It was walking into our dorm, and I see this baby-faced kid with his flat-brim Kent hat walking in with his hockey bag. I'm like, you know what? Look at this guy. Just looked like he rolled out of like a Pantene Pro V commercial set. Hard to believe now, but yes, it was like beautiful blonde locks, unbelievable. And I was saying, oh, this must be my roommate Blake Cooper. It's a hockey guy. I'm a hockey guy. It was not Blake Cooper. Blake Cooper was the kid that was like sneaking in his Dungeons and Dragons kit behind me, along with his Dance Dance Revolution, and I was like sad to realize that that was not my roommate. And Johnny was too, because his roommate was like the captain of the Ultimate Frisbee team and the complete hipster. So way to go, Stonehill, with working on those interest sheets. Kids were neighbors, but no. So Johnny and I made it a point, more so Johnny than me, that we would try to become roommates by torturing everybody else in our dorm for the next 3 months, which the pranks we will not get into, but there was different things that were involved that we were literally torturing every single person in the dorm, to the point where we got our wish. We didn't become roommates on campus. They asked us to kindly leave. So for the next 3 years, Johnny and I were best suited as off-campus roommates. And we were happily ever after that, but good times. No, but to get serious on Johnny. Johnny is the smartest, hardest working person that I know. I would be proud if my kids ended up working half as hard as he did one day, and that's the honest truth. No one carries the weight of the world on their shoulders like Johnny does, and even more insane is the fact that he finds times to cultivate all his relationships with all of us. He makes it a point to, check in on you when things happen. If you have a kid, if you have something big in your life happen, he's the first one to either send a note, make the phone call. That's just who he is, and that's who I know he's going to be as a husband. So Johnny, you're an absolute stud. I love you to death, and I think that you and Emily are going to be, the perfect couple moving forward. Emily. Emily, every time I've gotten to hang out with you, you've been nothing but kind, and more, importantly, I've seen how you've treated all of John's friends, and I know that's why he loves you so much. You're so good to every single person that's around you. You're kind, smart, funny. You look absolutely amazing tonight. But I can see what Johnny saw in you, and I can tell you just a quick story is when Johnny called me to tell me about how he was going to propose to you. I could literally see him smiling through the phone as he described every single event, which was a lot of events to get to the proposal. But it was I could tell at that point that he was head over heels for you, and I was so excited for him because you truly were a special person. So I'm so excited for you guys. Congratulations. You guys are the best. I love you. And raise a glass. Cheers. And just remember, Johnny, love is a circle. It's never ending. We love you.
Another big round of applause for the D2 national champion there.
Hi, my name is Rachel, and for those of you who do not know me, in an effort to piece the puzzle together for you, I am John's much cooler, much less successful little sister. I truly cannot believe that the person who used to hold me down and wipe boogers on me is now married. And I am so excited and happy for John and his beautiful, lovely new bride, Emily, who, by the way, would never do such a thing. As the middle child in the Sommers family, my role was always quite clear. John could be found on any given day, either at hockey practice, winning some kind of award, or being my parents' favorite child. Matthew could be found on any given day playing Zelda, trolling people on the internet, or doing something sketchy. By the way, where is Matt? Subsequently, in regards to my behavior, I was left with one choice: act out. So I, however, could be found on any given day smoking cigarettes on the roof of our childhood home at age 13, dating an Arab guy, or being grounded for months at a time. Anyways, as an older brother, John was the best in many ways and worst in others, and we'll get to that. In regards to the best, for example, he would always let me hang out with him and his friends, and the fact that I could go out with him gave me diplomatic immunity, going out immunity with my father, something that was otherwise rarely allowed unless it involved something along the lines of knitting with nuns. John was also the best because he was the most protective brother. From bullying my boyfriends to the extent of what today is known as assault and battery, he always protected me and still does to this day. Let me give you a little story. For example, while we were both attending Kingswood, Oxford, there was some random guy talking about me, not so nicely. And so John decided that the best way to deal with it was to take a piece of toast in the cafeteria, cover it with every condiment imaginable, and proceeded to walk up behind this guy, palmed his face with said sandwich, while simultaneously whispering in his ear, "Never talk shit about my sister again." Needless to say, the talking stopped. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think that anyone has seen or heard from that guy since. However, John was the worst brother in the sense that he has always been amazing at everything. Everything this kid touches, this kid turns to fucking gold. It's ridiculous. Do you know how annoying that is as a middle child, younger sibling? Report cards would come back. Pretty good, Ray. Except, did you see that John got straight A's? Did you see how he's excelling at hockey? Did you see that? Did you see how many friends he had? Oh my God, a hat trick? Wow. You shouldn't have, John. Amazing. Yes, John has always been a tough act to follow. And yes, I have spoken with my therapist about it. But in all seriousness, John really has been the world's best older brother and continues to be to this day. He's not only my best friend and my protector, but he's also the first person that I call when I have juicy gossip, when I need someone to talk to, and of course, most importantly, when I need something. But don't let me get you wrong. John, believe it or not, is a human being. I remember at one point in time, he would exclusively wear Jenko jeans. There was a bowl cut involved. He's a guy that likes cats. Although he has pretty much always been allowed to do everything that he wanted because he essentially would never screw up, He would oftentimes come home at 4 a.m. in high school, followed by my father screaming throughout the house, "Jesus, John!" John also sends more emails than anyone I fucking know. And I'm pretty sure all of you are aware of this at this point. Hey, John, next time you want to send email blasts like that, please please make it to be an option to unsubscribe, okay? Being the natural leader that he is, I totally get that you need to be organized. Everything you do, you put 100% effort into. I mean, thank fucking God I know where the fucking bocce ball court is. Like, I don't even know. He's not perfect, but he's pretty damn close. God damn it. Holy shit, though. I am super glad that you have got that role covered. I personally can barely keep my phone charged. Anyways, on to Emily. Before John met Emily, let's just say his taste in women was questionable at best. And to be honest, I always knew he was never going to end up with those girls. Please. Just saying. But when John first called me to tell me about Emily, his voice was different. He told me that he was going on this amazing date with his friend's wife's cousin. She lived in New York City, she was beautiful, and you could bounce a quarter off her ass. As his hype girl, I was super excited. I'm like, so what are you gonna do for your first date? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, deets up. And he was like, so yeah, we're going to a hockey game. Oh yeah, sick dude, sick. Yeah, she's gonna love it. Yeah, 100%. No, maybe consider another option. You're joking, right? Fucking poor girl. I joke. But the truth is that this is the best part about meeting and finding a partner later in life, is that he already knew who he was when he met you, Emily. And he just wanted to share that with you. This is the most genuine thing that my brother has ever done with a girl, bringing her to a hockey game. It was super sweet, and I was super excited. And from this hockey date, God bless you, what blossomed into a blind date then blossomed into the most beautiful relationship that I've ever imagined for my brother. It's perfect, it's fun, you guys love each other, you know each other, and I just honestly look up to both of you. To be honest, I never wanted a sister for obvious attention reasons. I mean, ever since my mom got a chihuahua, my ranking has changed. But Emily, there couldn't be a more perfect, loving, thoughtful, giving, I mean, like, there's a lot of commas in this, sexy is one of them, sister-in-laws that I could have ever imagined. And I am so honored to share a last name with you, even if it is only for a month. I love you so much, and we are so lucky to have you in our lives. Congratulations on your wedding, your beautiful new home, and I just have one last note for my dog Saki, who could not make it this evening. Auntie Emily, you're never gonna find my poops in your new house. Congrats, I love you guys.
A big round of applause for Rachel. All right, next up, we're going to bring up the brother of the groom, Matt.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew Sommers, and for those who do not know, I am John's younger brother by 7 years. As you can tell, I'm probably the most soft-spoken of the three. For very obvious reasons. Thanks, Ray. I didn't even hear her speech, but I knew it was going to be a good one. So I was the youngest by 7 years. So what that meant is that I got to watch my siblings grow up and, make successes, make mistakes, which were myriad, as Rachel has mentioned. But it's always been very helpful, very observational. And to that point, I feel like I have been good at observing things just from growing up and watching these two. And one thing that I've observed about John is that he has a very specific ability, one that I envy and one that I appreciate, which is surrounding himself with other people who are good, kind, smart. Look around. Everyone here is either a friend, coworker, colleague, opponent, or teammate, but they're all good people. And the reason that we're all here is because of John and because of Emily. And it's unbelievable. I mean, talk about a role model. My dad has been spoken about a lot, but I would also like to say that John, he's a significant role model. It's unbelievable what he has accomplished in this life. However, on this day, I think that the clearest observation is that Emily decided to choose John. He's good at surrounding himself with people, but it's a two-way street, and I'm gonna keep it short, I'm gonna keep it quick, because I don't want too much waterworks, but I could not be happier to have a new sister and a new family.
Her life in the space around me, our own song. And disguised in the light, it seemed that a jewel unveiled in front of me, our own song. Walk beside, now reach inside, speak love, fall into me. Walk beside, now reach inside me, yeah. And it's you and me that make a symphony, and the space between is the harmony. Oh, if you and I could take a melody on a day like this. Hold that thought while I take this spark and fuel the fire with a falling star. Oh, it's you and me right across the sea on a day. And the space between is the harmony. Oh, if you and I could take the melody on a day